Okay, can you hear me okay? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, good. I want to welcome everyone and thanks for taking time on this Saturday. I really enjoy these meetings, and any way that I can help you and answer your questions and help you along your way it means a lot to me. We did get a list of questions, and I don't know who sent them in, but I want to thank you. Sometimes if something's on your mind, you want me to cover it during the meeting, email Chris and I'll make a note of it. So these are the questions, and I think they're all good ones. What form of omega-3 supplement do you recommend for the eye? Well, there's no question that omega-3s and 6s are very important for the eye. And for the longest time, we thought that we eliminated the phone calls, because I think that was a big problem. People were calling in and it's impossible to mute your phone, but I have the ability to mute all of you. Okay, so let's get back to this. What form of omega-3 supplement do you recommend for the eye? We always thought for the longest time that fish oils were the best thing to use for the eye. But unfortunately, there was a lot of research. In particular, it was done by a Dr. Peskin, Brian Peskin. And when I first heard Dr. Peskin speak, I actually walked out of the room. I thought the guy didn't know what he was talking about. He was really against fish oils, and I'll explain why. And then later on, I talked with my good friend, Dr. Robert Rowan. Dr. Robert Rowan is a brilliant alternative medical doctor. He used to be editor of Second Opinion. And I said, Robert, what do you think about Professor Peskin's work? And Dr. Rowan said to me, I think he's right on. In fact, then Dr. Peskin and Dr. Rowan wrote a book on the dangers of fish oils. And there's 3 dangers with fish oils. One, it's not the parent oil, it's a derivative oil. In other words, fish eat plants and they form a more complex chain of fatty acids. Second is that fish oils become rancid at room temperature, quickly become rancid. And there's a lot of toxicities with rancid fish oil. And almost no one that I know refrigerates their fish oils. Even if you do refrigerate it, it's probably shipped at room temperatures. And the third reason is the high level of mercury that are found in fish. So for those 3 reasons, I don't recommend fish oils. And there's also been a couple of studies, really interesting studies, that contradict all the benefits. One study looked at the effect of fish oils on cardiovascular disease, and it discovered that it has no effect. Okay, so anyway, I recommend plant-based oils. You need omega oils, but you should not be using fish oils. Omegas, 3s, and 6s from plant. And there's a product called Yes Essentials. And it's a mixture of flaxseed, borage, all the really good. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. The plant-based oils are really, really important for you. Second question, how does the microcurrent machine help with wet macular degeneration? Now, the microcurrent, a lot of people feel that the wet macular degeneration is caused by an excessive amount of blood flow because the blood is leaking into the eye. The reason why you develop wet macular degeneration is because of lack of oxygenation and poor circulation. The body responds by growing these little tiny blood vessels in the eye because it wants to produce more oxygen and blood flow. And that causes the leakage. So what the microcurrent does, it reduces the inflammation. It helps improve the circulation and helps improve the oxygenation. And also it helps detoxify the eye. So all these things seems to help with wet macular degeneration. Now, my previous studies that I've published, I have shown that actually the eye responds better. People with wet macular degeneration respond better than those with the dry. And you can go to my website.
I don't want this. I want this.
I don't know what's going on here. Somebody's yakking. I'm going to find out who that is and kick them off the meeting.
That was me, I think, because I was logging on.
Okay, well, you don't have to speak when you log on.
I'm sorry.
Mute
I had to-
yourself, please. You're being very disrespectful for the group. Everyone's trying to listen.
Every time.
All right. Please mute yourself. Okay. Because it's hard for me to concentrate too, and there's all kind of yakking in the background, and it's not fair for people that have tuned in. If it continues, I'm going to have to ban you from the group. So please show some respect. All right. So anyway, there's a lot of mechanisms that the microcurrent can help wet macular degeneration. Now, the big controversy is that, you know, why are we doing, you know, the injections? And most of the studies that have been done show that the injections will help early on with the wet macular degeneration. But long term, it seems to cause more damage. So it's always a kind of tricky situation. Those of you that have been getting injections and then you start the microcurrent, you know, should I continue the injection? Should I stop them? And my recommendation is as follows, that if you're doing the microcurrent, you're doing the program and your vision is stable, or if it's improving, certainly you do not need the injections. But on the other hand, if you're doing the microcurrent, the program, the light therapy, and you're still losing vision, then I would say you need the injections. And I would say about 15% of patients that I treat will be getting the injections along with the microcurrent. But the goal is that the program, the microcurrent, the light therapy, the homeopathy will prevent you from needing those injections. Question here, what impact may I expect on my body by the DMSA tabs used for the urine metal test? Well, it's a very, very low dose of the DMSA. And out of the thousands of patients that I've treated, there's been very minimal side effect. It is important that you do drink plenty of water when you take them. If you are extremely sensitive, if you're an extremely sensitive individual, then consult with the office. So we may want to recommend that you take half the dose, but already I've reduced the dose. You know, the standard dose for the urine challenge test, we've cut it down by 50%. So you are getting a small dose, and I don't anticipate there'll be any problem with that. But if you have concern, you know, check with the office. A good question here about, do microorganisms play a role in macular degeneration or glaucoma? Well, it's well known that microorganisms can affect the retina. Toxoplasmosis, Lyme disease, there's a lot of disorders or protozoa or microorganisms that can cause retinal damage. There's really no good evidence in the literature that Lyme or protozoa affect the trabecular meshwork in a glaucoma. They can affect the optic nerve in the circulation, but I'm not aware of any studies that have shown them in the trabecular meshwork. But if you do have inflammation in the eye, that could cause an obstruction of the trabecular meshwork. Head, neck, spine alignment can contribute to eye health, definitely. You know, when you have tension in your neck, that can affect the circulation to your head and your eyes. And structural problems, you know, the energetic flow. So it is a contributing factor, especially if you've had a head and neck injury. A lot of times with glaucoma patients, we look at that history because that could affect the circulation of the cerebral spinal fluid. I already talked about injections for wet macular degeneration. Does laser treatment by a provider used to shake up the trabecular meshwork caused by damage to the eye. Well, the analogy is this: in glaucoma, you get an accumulation of fluid in the eye. And the analogy is that if your drain in your bathtub is blocked, the water's going to accumulate and it'll spill over the tub. So what the trabecular meshwork is an area for filtering. The aqueous humor in the eye needs to flow out of that area. So there are different procedures that kind of open up the trabecular meshwork. And indeed, it is like drilling a hole. Not really drilling a hole, it just breaks it up, opens it up so more fluid will flow. And that's one of the purposes of a lot of surgical operations where they actually make a hole. Surgically, they make a hole. So typically, what glaucoma doctors will do, they'll want to do a less invasive procedure, such as something like a laser or SLT, something less invasive than surgery. But if the laser procedure doesn't work, then you might need a surgical procedure like a trabeculectomy or putting a little drainage stent or tube into the eye. So my philosophy has always been that if you do have glaucoma, embrace the alternative therapies, because one of the main focuses of the alternative therapies is not so much to lower the pressure, but to improve the health of the optic nerve. So if your optic nerve is healthier than when you started, it's going to be able to tolerate those higher pressures. So in other words, we're looking at two approaches to glaucoma. One is, let's improve the health of the optic nerve. How do we do that? Well, good nutrition, proper hydration, reducing stress. The microcurrent can improve blood flow, stimulate healing. The light therapy helps balance the autonomic nervous system, the homeopathy, all that. And then on the other hand, you still may need some eye drops until the eye gets healthy, gets a healthier state. And then you'll be able to maybe reduce the eye drops. So any questions on the questions? You can unmute yourself and fire a question. Let's first take questions on the questions, and then I'll take some questions in general. I'm going to stop the screen sharing here. Good. All right, I can get a better view here of everybody. Any questions?
I've got one, Dr. Kondrot.
Hi, Betty. How are you?
Good. The use of a rebounder, is that helpful for uveitis or any other eye conditions or not?
Well, the rebounder is a form of exercise, and there have been some studies to show that it's especially beneficial for glaucoma because you're bouncing up and down, and it helps stimulate some of the lymphatic flow in the body. And I've actually done some testing in the office where I've taken glaucoma patients and had them bounce up and down on the rebounder, and it has lowered their pressure. But exercise in general will lower the pressure of glaucoma. I have a YouTube video where I treated a gentleman. He was the professor of African dance at UCLA, and he had uncontrolled glaucoma. And so we made him, he danced. He did a beautiful African dance for about 10, 15 minutes. And then we measured his pressure, and it was a lot lower. So exercise will lower your pressure. The rebounder is nice because many of you are in a cold climate where you really can't go outside and walk or ride your bicycle. Matter of fact, right now I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm in West Newton, Pennsylvania, visiting my grandchildren, and it is cold. It's like 9 degrees outside.
Yep.
So if you have a rebounder, you can get on that rebounder and bounce up and down, or exercise cycle. But it is important, though, especially for those of you that have glaucoma. You got to exercise. Not only exercise, but doing something to balance your autonomic nervous system. Deep breathing, meditation, prayer, positive affirmation, all these things can help. Certainly, there's an emotional component to all disease. And if you can address that emotional component, that can be a big contributing factor to help you improve your vision. Okay, Rebecca, I see your hands up.
Okay, let me put my hand down.
Okay. Thanks for being so polite.
So my question is, I do my microcurrent on my eyes, and my schedule got messed around this morning. And so I was doing the ozonated water, and I got to thinking, can I do the drops every 5 minutes while I'm doing my eye protocol?
Well, you don't want to be taking the gloves off the eye every 5 minutes.
Well,
What
I put it
would
on pause is what I did. Just
Okay,
because
but
I've never done that before, and I'm like, should I even have done that and just let it go?
boy, that sounds kind of cumbersome and a nuisance if you're putting it on pause every 5 minutes. I would just relax and not have that stress of pausing it every 5 minutes. Just do the eye program, because if your eyes are closed, you really don't need the ozone eye drops every 5 minutes. Typically, the ozone eye drops are when your eyes are open, they're being exposed to the ambient air, and there may be some dryness of your cornea, that type of thing.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I happen to be doing that, and once I get into a schedule, I just do it, and I just didn't think about it. So thank you, Dr. Kondrot.
Oh, thank you. And it looks like Janet has her hand up, but I can't see you, Janet.
Okay. Hi, can you see me now?
Yeah, now I can see you. You have such a nice smile.
Thanks. My question is about the Oclamed. I've been using it for about 3 or 4 months in between my last ophthalmologist appointment and my one I just had yesterday with my doctor. And my doctor's appointment didn't go probably as well as I'd liked it to. She said the glaucoma wasn't progressing, so that's a good thing. But my pressures were just as high as they were prior to my trabeculectomy, and that was concerning. And so she put me back on drops again to start with one eye to see how it goes. And then my cataracts are progressing. So she says I have quite a bit of vision loss since my last appointment 4 months ago. And the only change is I have been using the Oclamed, and I was just wondering if I should stop that.
Well, how is your vision? Forget about what the doctor told you. Are you functioning okay, or all your activities?
My right eye, I don't see as well as that of the left, as I do in the left eye, but the left eye has the higher pressure. I think that the cataract is probably worse than the right eye. It's quite fuzzy.
But I mean, in terms of your functioning, just doing daily activities, reading, are you limited or?
Doing daily activities, I can function fine.
Okay, because a lot of times, the eye surgeons have a secondary gain. They're in the business to do eye surgery. And, there's a joke, if you pay a man to cut your leg off, he'll figure out a reason why you need your leg cut off. So a lot of times I think the surgeons are too aggressive, especially with cataract surgery.
Yeah.
And, if you were telling me right now that you couldn't function, you couldn't read, you couldn't do your daily activities, then I'd be the first one to say, well, maybe you should consider surgery. But if you're able to function and do most of your activities, then I would say, you don't need surgery.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
for
doctor
example-
she didn't suggest surgery.
Mm,
I had surgery done 2 years ago, a trabeculectomy in both my eyes. But the cataracts, she never suggested that. It's just something
Okay.
to keep watching. I have an appointment every 4 months. What she did suggest was that I started back on the prescription drops in one of my eyes again. And
Okay.
so I do have a prescription for that. And I told her I was taking the Oclamed, and she said, it's up to me if I want to continue it or not. But I just, just both things got worse in the last 4 months. So I was just wondering if I should just give it a break, or would that interfere with what's happening?
Well, if your vision, if you were having trouble and you were limited in your activities, then I'd be concerned. But the Oculamed, works very, very slowly. I don't see how it could cause an acceleration of your cataract, because it's mainly a nutritional drop.
Okay.
When you do develop a cataract, studies have shown that you have a decrease in the ascorbic acid levels in your aqueous, which is the fluid in your eye, and the glutathione. So essentially, the Oculamed drops are vitamin C and glutathione derivatives. They're helping to reverse it.
So it wouldn't interfere. It would be best to continue with them.
I would say so too, but we have to look at other reasons why the cataracts are progressing. Is it nutrition? Is it some other eye drop that you're taking?
I'm not taking anything else. I haven't started the prescription one yet. I haven't got it filled yet.
But
So
unfortunately, see, the trabeculectomy can accelerate the growth of the cataract in itself.
right.
Also, studies have shown that elevated lead contributes to the growth of the cataract. So I don't know if we've investigated, done a urine challenge test on you to see if you have lead in your body.
I have done it an initial one, and I've been taking the detoxamine, and I had ordered a second urine challenge test yet, but I haven't
Okay.
got it yet.
Yeah, because that could be an issue too. Remember, I think food is our best medicine. So it's very important that you eat all the good, essential, leafy green, colorful foods and vegetables. They have a certain amount of detoxification property in them. Drink plenty of water to help detoxify your body. The microcurrent, the light therapy, all these things can help detoxify the body and help, reverse the process.
Great.
Also, the homeopathic remedy. The homeopathic remedy, treats the underlying cause. In some patients who've been slow to respond with the microcurrent, the light therapy, et cetera, the right homeopathic remedy has made the difference in terms of turning things around.
I'm taking the homeopathic remedy, and I'm doing the light and the microcurrent as well. My microcurrent, on some settings it works fine, but the eye setting, I've ordered new gloves. I haven't got them yet because I think that was it, the gloves and wires, but it makes a chirping sound on the eye setting. And
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
yeah, so I've ordered new gloves and wires, but I haven't got them yet.
Okay.
Is that why? Is it the wires that are not connecting right?
Well, when you say tripping, what do you mean by?
It kind of goes like it sounds like a chirp, like a very chirp, like a beeping sound, but
Okay,
every
yeah.
5-10 seconds.
Yeah, it could be, when you're doing the microcurrent, the indicator lights should be
Yeah.
off in the right corner.
And it does say poor connection, so that's why I
Yeah.
ordered the wires.
Yeah, so sometimes it's not, you have to look at the wires, you have to look at the gloves too. Sometimes if the gloves aren't properly hydrated, that'll cause a problem too. So those of you that are doing the microcurrent, you should not feel anything in your eye because it's a very, very low current. We're dealing with a millionth of an amp. And those indicator lights, the lights on the top right of your machine, they should not be on. If they're on, that means you're not completing a circuit.
Right.
And so the cables and gloves are rather delicate. And normally, if those indicator lights don't go on, we usually replace the cables and the glove.
Yeah, I have that on order, so I should be getting them next week.
Okay, well, keep us posted. But it bothers me when you tell me there's a chirping sound. You shouldn't have any sound at all.
Right.
Okay, Rebecca, you have your hands up again. Oh, can't hear you. You have to unmute.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
did. Thank you. I too was having trouble with the chirping sound. It's when it doesn't connect well. And I never thought about it, but sometimes it is the eye, but I have it for other things as well. But when you mentioned the hydrating the gloves, am I supposed to get the gloves wet too? I only ever wet the the wet washcloths.
Well, usually if the washcloth is wet, that's all you really need. See, the gloves are silver impregnated silver. When the gloves are brand new, I could hold the gloves in my hand without them being dry.
Yeah, I had to stop what I was doing.
And it works fine. But as the gloves get old, you lose some of the silver impregnation and they have to be wet.
Okay.
So as the gloves get older, you really have to moisten the gloves and the washcloths.
Okay. All right.
And I would test it. The best way to test it is get your whole apparatus together and hold it together in one hand and begin to run the program and see if those lights should not come on.
They did.
If they come on, the first thing to do is to properly moisten the washcloth and the glove. Also, the other factor is you have to be hydrated.
Right.
If you're dehydrated, it's almost like doing the therapy with dry gloves.
Well,
Now, the machine is kind of interesting. And the reason why I like this machine, it's a current constant machine. 20 some years ago, when I first started doing microcurrent, the machines were current adjusted. What that means is you began to do the program and you turned the current up until you felt something. Then you turned it back. And we found that that actually caused problems with a lot of people because they thought that more is better. And even though they felt it, they turned it up even more. And of course, a lot of people are elderly and they forget and they turned it up too high. And too high of a current will actually, reduce the function of the eye. That's why the safety feature was developed that it's current constant. It cannot go higher than the level that we put into the machine. But on the other hand, if I would hold those gloves in my dry hands and dry gloves, I may get some tingling or even some sparks because the computer in the machine is trying to get the 20 to 40 microamps. And it has so much resistance that it's going up a higher and higher voltage. So that's why it's important, not only do the washcloths have to be moist, but you have to be properly hydrated. It makes the whole process function much better. If you do have any pain or discomfort during the microcurrent, you should not have any. That means that you are dehydrated. You got to drink some water and then moisten the gloves more.
I drink a gallon a day and I drink 8 ounces before I start it and I do 8 ounces after each protocol, however many.
Yeah, so, the hydration's, your body hydration probably isn't a problem.
Yeah. Thanks, Doc.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking for hands here. Other questions?
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, this is Lydia. Yeah. So good afternoon. Yeah, as to hydration, water sometimes is not enough, right? But would you put some something else in the water to hydrate your body a little better?
Well, in terms of detoxification,
No,
Uh,
dehydration. If your body is dehydrated, I was saying sometimes just water is not enough. Sometimes maybe you should have there are these powders and such can be used.
well, I don't really recommend the powders, but
No? Okay.
certainly if you're drinking a lot of like distilled water without any minerals, that could be a
Ah.
concern. So what I like is maybe a pinch of Himalayan sea salt
Oh, okay.
in a quart of water. That would add enough minerals. But I just mentioned about detoxification.
Oh,
One of the reasons, well, there's hydration and there's detox. And
mhm.
I agree that, you know, if you sweat a lot, you got to replace some of the minerals that you're losing. And, you know, plain water is not enough. You got to have some minerals with the water. But in terms of detoxification, you're drinking water to remove those toxic minerals from your body, the pollutants from your body.
Mm.
So the general rule in Dr. Mangeldi's book, he felt that you should be drinking 1/2 of your body weight in ounces of water. And that's pure water, you know, distilled water,
Okay.
because that acts as a detoxification. So in terms of you know, keeping your body hydrated, you know, 1/2 your body weight in ounces of water should be enough. But then again, if you're active and you're perspiring and it's summer and you're losing more water, you probably need more. I personally have a reverse osmosis machine to eliminate, you know, the chlorine and toxins from the tap water. And then I'll put maybe a little tiny pinch of Himalayan sea salt in a quart of water.
Mm.
So you may want to try that.
Since you're also in homeopath, so and I go swimming. It's very convenient, and its water is pleasantly not cold. But the chlorine, is there anything you can do for your body? And this is, of course, a general question. That is for this chlorine that your body absorbs.
Yeah, the chlorine is definitely toxic to the body, but more and more swimming pools are using ozonated water. The swimming pool, when I used to live in Florida, we had it ozonated,
Used
Oh.
to.
no chlorine. And a lot of the Olympic pools now, they're doing away with the chlorine. So maybe you should talk to the owners of the swimming pool and discuss with them. And it's actually very, very inexpensive. When I put in my ozonator, you know, there was a strong smell of chlorine. And then I had the pool guy come here and he inspected the pool, and, you know, he knew I was a doctor. So I kind of figured he was going to give me the highest price, you know. And then he told me it was going to be $500. And I was shocked. It was $500 to put an ozone generator in my pool.
Wow.
Only
Okay, well,
500.
maybe. Wow, that's a good idea. I'm oceanated, so and also, right?
Yeah. And then also, so what do you do after if you swim in a chlorinated pool, then you have to do some type of detox. That would be drinking a lot of water, or maybe going into a sauna and sweating.
Yeah, sauna is not my.
The chlorine is very volatile. So the heat, and if your body's sweating, you know, going into an infrared sauna, something like that to get rid of it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
But maybe try to get a movement to get the water ozonated, because more and more people are becoming aware of the dangers of chlorine.
Yeah, yeah. And some people are actually allergic to it.
Yeah. And then ozone is very beneficial. If they would ozonate the pool, you're getting the added benefit of swimming in the ozonated water, which is absorbed into your body, helping.
Oh, okay. Very good. Because having already glaucoma, it's not good to have too many other chemicals bothering your body, right?
That's a good point, because in glaucoma, we want to avoid all the toxins that
Mm,
could
yeah.
adversely affect your optic nerve. Remember, there's two games we're playing. One is to try to keep the pressure reasonable, and then doing everything to keep that optic nerve healthy. And the optic nerve is part of your neurological system. So
Yeah.
healthy food, good diet, and avoiding all the toxins.
Okay. Yeah.
I see Betty Parker has her hand up. Hi, Betty. Another
Hey.
question?
Yeah, Dr. Hunter, you mentioned Himalayan salt. There is no iodine in that pink Himalayan salt, is there?
That I'm not sure. I think there is a trace of iodine.
Because what you want is you want salt with iodine in it, right?
Well, you have to be careful with the sea salt, because the sea salt has a lot of contaminants. But my impression was that the Himalayan sea salt has all the essential minerals.
Okay, because I'm
I may be
always,
wrong. I may
Yeah,
be
well,
wrong on that.
when I'm looking at the, in the grocery stores or wherever, if it doesn't say that the salt is ionized, then it's not, I don't. then
Yeah,
it's
they always
fine.
sell the iodized salt.
Right, but if it doesn't say it's iodized, then I'm assuming that there's no iodine in there.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's always been a question mark in my head about the Himalayan salt.
Yeah, I would have to do some research to see, but I think that there's a trace amount of iodine in the Himalayan sea salt. All the essential minerals are in the Himalayan sea salt.
Okay, okay.
Oh, the other thing I want to mention is that I like essential oils. And those of you who are doing the microcurrent, and we used to do it in the office, we used to put a little bit of frankincense in the water that we soak the washcloths. And the frankincense has a lot of regenerative ability. Dr. Vega is going to be speaking at the Vision event. I hope all of you have signed up for the Vision event.
Mhm.
If you haven't, because the reduced rate, it's gone up now. It's
Yes.
$89.95. But if you
Yes,
forgot,
No,
give Chris a
I
call,
don't want you to do
and she
anything.
can give you
I don't
the
want you to do
reduced rate.
anything.
Don't.
But anyway, I think the essential oils can be really beneficial, incorporating them with the microcurrent. In fact, before this meeting, I have an oscilloscope here, and I've been testing different frequencies. I think a lot of you know I'm trying to get my master's in electrical engineering.
Mhm.
My wife is upset. She says, "You must be bored." But I think it's fascinating, and I've been working with Dr. Howard Leonhardt on developing new frequencies and studying the combination of frequencies. So I think that's really the future of medicine. Microcurrent has such an amazing ability to help regenerate the body. Roxanne, you have a question?
I don't remember when I heard you say it, but I thought you said that you liked ozone ear insufflation, and I was wondering if I got that right, and how does it help would it help the eyes at all?
Oh, ozone is
Ear insufflation.
there's 3 ways of doing ozone therapy. Well, actually, there's 4 ways. The ozone eye drops, but the ozone eye drops really don't do much to treat glaucoma, cataracts, or macular degeneration. It's mainly for dry eyes and itchy eyes and allergies. Another method is called major autohemotherapy, where the doctor takes a little bit of blood out of your body, mixes ozone, and puts it in intravenously. Then rectal insufflation, where you put a little ozone in a small bag and insert it rectally. And the other way is auricular, where you get a stethoscope, put it into your ears and squeeze the bag, and the ozone will go absorb through the tympanic membrane. It seems like the rectal insufflation is more popular here in the United States, but in Europe and in Russia, the auricular is more popular. And studies have shown that it can be just as effective. I think the rectal is probably more effective than the auricular. But during the COVID epidemic, I was doing ozone therapy probably close to every day. And I was just tired of doing it rectally. And so I started doing the auricular, which I liked. It seems to be easier, less cumbersome. And a lot of people do have difficulty if you have an anal fistula or hemorrhoids, or you're elderly and you just can't reach back there. So you might want to investigate the auricular. I do have a YouTube video on that, on how to do the auricular. It can be very beneficial for macular degeneration and glaucoma, not that much effect with cataracts. And we do have Dr. Frank Schallenberger speaking at the event on ozone, and he's one of the world's authorities on the treatment or the use of ozone in eye disease.
Second. Could you come here for a second, please?
Okay. Other questions?
Well,
I just
then,
got Regina
okay.
that her mom died last night.
Who's mom?
Regina.
Oh, okay.
Knew that was coming. It's one after another.
All
I was having a reaction.
right. Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody, okay, Rebecca, your hand's up. Oh, you're, have to unmute yourself. Rebecca?
There, okay.
Okay, now I can hear you. You were,
All right, sorry. I just don't want to make noise. I think there's a chat out there because it said for everyone, and I can't find that, but it was a question about, well, now I can't even remember that. I was trying to remember to tell you. Is there a chat out there? Because she asked about
oh
it.
yeah. Where could I find more information about microcurrent placement of electrodes? I think Chris has a whole list of every type of treatment that you can do with microcurrent and where to put the electrodes. Now, the general rule is you want draw an imaginary line between one glove and the other glove, and that imaginary line should go through the area of treatment. If you're using pads, you need 4 pads. So it's not just 2, because if you look at your glove, there's 2 electrodes going in each glove. So if you're using the smaller electrodes, you put 2 pair of electrodes on one side and 1 on the other. So if you're treating your knee, for example, you could put 2 on the anterior part of your knee and 2 on the posterior, or 2 above, 2 below. Just draw that imaginary line. If you're treating your neck, 2 electrodes on one side, 2 on the other side. Draw that imaginary line. That's the general rule. So I hope that answers the question. But we do have some written material on glove placements and electrode placements. Many of you don't have the electrodes. I've been talking to Ning Wu about making them part of all the future microcurrent machines. There is a company that sells these specific connectors and leads. So any of you, if you're interested in using the electrodes, that can be helpful. I know when I had knee problems and I was using the microcurrent, it's almost impossible to, wrap a glove above the knee and below the knee and walk or sit. Kept on falling on the floor. So I got the 4 electrodes, strapped it on my knee, and I was able to do a treatment without them, falling off or worrying about placement. Lourdes, did you want to?
Yeah.
That was your question.
Yes. Will any electrodes will do anything that I get online, like for TENS machines, any type of electrodes, or it
Yeah.
has to be specific?
And no, any type
Anyone.
of electrodes, but the key is test them. You know, a lot
How?
of the electrodes have the sticky pads, so get them set up, turn on your microcurrent machine, and you don't want those lights to go on. If the light goes on, then you know that there's a problem.
The little indicators that blink when there is
Yeah.
not a good
Yeah,
transmission,
they should be off.
they should be off.
But I've tested, you know, different electrodes. There's a company, I think, Alhassa Ohms. Chris can send you, we have a little information sheet on the name of the company and the type of electrodes that you need.
Well, I asked Chris a long time ago, but she never sent me anything.
How long ago did you ask her?
Oh, last year.
Okay, well, I'll make sure that she has that information.
Yeah, and I
'Cause
tried.
I put it together. It's a sheet that has a link on who to, you know, order the electrodes. You have to make sure you get the right size too. There's two sizes of plugs. I think it's a 2.4 jack that goes in.
Oh, yeah, the jack. That's what I was going to ask. I need another wire,
Mhm.
another connection from the little machine to the
Mhm.
electrode, other than the
Mhm.
ones that I use for the gloves.
Mhm. Here, I'll show you what I'm using right now.
Okay.
These are
I
the
see.
pads. These are the
Yeah.
pads that I'm using. They're really sticky. And this is the
Right. Where did you
This
get
here?
that one? Yeah.
this is from Alhassa Ohms. Here, let me go back to my computer and I'll see if I can find them online.
Okay. I tried to join that. Is it Infrastar, the place that makes the little machine, but I have difficulties getting through with them too, because they sell the links, the wires.
Here, this is here, let me share my screen here. And I'll show you the website, okay?
Okay.
I'm not able to share the screen here. Just a second here. I'm looking for where's the screen? View, meeting, start share. Okay, here's you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's LHASAOMS.com. And let's see, I think it's acupuncture, essential oils, type in here. Electrode leads. This is acupuncture needles. Here. There's the
Mm.
exit pads. And then they also have the cables. The site is new, so I'm not, I can't find it. But anyway, call the office up and we have the links. The links may have
Okay.
changed, but this is one of the best sites, but also Amazon.
They are all over. Yeah, they are all over. And I have electrodes from TENS machines and things like that. Will
Mhm.
they will fit as long as they go into they have
Yeah.
the right diameter?
Mhm.
It doesn't.
It's the same diameter that you use for like a stereo speaker. You know, when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
a computer,
Uh-huh.
there's another smaller diameter, but that's not going to work. So make sure you order the right ones. But I've been after Ning. I'm saying Ning, these people are paying all the money for this microcurrent machine. Just, throw in these electrodes for a couple extra dollars and, keep everybody happy. So he's planning on doing that.
I love that microcurrent machine. I get the most a lot of views from it, but it's difficult with the gloves.
Yeah.
Very difficult. And
Now, once you start using the electrodes, well, for certain things, the electrodes are really beneficial, like for your knee, they put them on your back,
yes, I have a lot of problem now with swelling in my ankles and my legs.
Mhm,
But the gloves, it makes it difficult to put it in there.
mhm. Well, good.
So I can do that imaginary line, like if I go in my foot and I put it on top, 2 electrodes, and then up above by the knee, is that a good line, or I have
Yeah.
to put it underneath?
You can try, experiment, one above, one below, one left, one right. But you should get the same effect.
Can I do a detox of the whole body if I put the glove on both of my and the bottom of my feet, and then the other glove on my neck?
Yeah. And I have patients with fibromyalgia and their whole body aches. And what they do is they put the electrodes on the bottom of their feet and then on their neck.
Okay. At
They
the
do a
same
whole body
time,
treatment.
I use the inflammation. I do have fibromyalgia, but I don't have the program. I made a mistake of not ordering that.
Mhm.
But if I use
we can update your machine and put the fibromyalgia.
yeah, I'm planning to do that.
Okay.
But then I can do that all at once, the whole body.
Yep.
Mm.
There'll be no stopping you. Superwoman.
Okay. Pretty soon I'm gonna be flying like the balloon, the Chinese balloon there.
They'll be talking about shooting you down from the sky.
Lucy up in the sky.
Yeah. Carol, did you have a question? I see your hand up. Oh, you have to unmute. I have to unmute yourself, Carol. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, I didn't know how to get the little yellow glove up, but there's my hand.
That's better. I like to see a human hand instead of the yellow.
When with the ear insufflation, would that be of any help for optic neuropathy?
Definitely.
And would be better than the rectal?
Probably, I prefer the rectal. I think you get more in your bloodstream. But then again, the rectal is kind of cumbersome and you may not want to do it every day, but it's easy to do the auricular every day.
Okay.
And that's what convinced me to do it, because during the COVID, I was doing it every day. I was worried and I got tired of doing the rectal.
Where would I get directions on how to do that?
Go to YouTube, my YouTube channel. And also all of you should, this is one of the main sheets. Let me go back to the screen here, if I can find it. Well, if you go to the website, healingtheeye.com, and there's an icon, are you new to this site? If you click that, it takes you to all the popular YouTube videos about ozone, microcurrent. It's like everything you need to know. So go there, that'll help.
Thank you. What about the eye drops, the Ocumed that you were talking about earlier? Would that be any benefit for the optic neuropathy?
Not really. The Ocumed is mainly beneficial for the cataracts.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see, Lydia, your hands up and then we'll get.
Yes, since you're talking now about these electrodes, I have this regular, if I can just lift this up, if you don't remember, I have this here, right? The microcurrent. So first, I might have missed some of your sessions, but I hadn't heard about electrodes so much. These pads, can I adjust it to this? Can I?
Oh yeah,
can I take this off? And,
definitely. It's compatible with any machine that you have.
okay. Now for the eyes, would I put these pads on my eyes?
Oh no, do not use the electrodes on your eye. There's a couple reasons why. You got 4 pads and you only got 2 eyes. And then it's a sticky pad and it's going to get caught in
it's
your
sticky.
hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it'll get caught on your eyelids and
Okay.
it'll be a nightmare.
These are I had
They're
no
sticky
idea.
pads. Mainly
Okay.
they're using it for you know, musculoskeletal things, and you know, you want to.
Okay. Yeah, if you have it on the knee or hip or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Roxanne?
Back to the ozone auricular treatment. Would that help with macular pucker or any ozone treatment, no matter
Oh
what?
yeah,
it is?
all the ozones will help with the macula.
With the macular pucker?
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
Okay, and it doesn't really, a systemic as well as that localized treatment would be effective.
Yeah, you want to get the ozone in your bloodstream.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, Janet?
Yes, hi. This is going back to what you said about the chlorine in the swimming pools. Like swimming is my choice of exercise, and I swim 2 or 3 times a week for a mile. And and I know that the pools in the public pools in the city here use chlorine and maybe sometimes a chlorine salt combination. But does it absorb through the skin? Is that
Oh,
how it's
definitely, yeah. It's absorbed
And-
in your skin. The
and-
scary thing is the greatest surface area of your neurological system is your skin.
Skin.
You have tiny nerve fibers in your skin and it's absorbed right in. It's horrible.
So even showering after doesn't help.
Well, it'll help, but then there's chlorine and a little bit of chlorine in the shower water. So you may want to consider, you know, some type of sauna, you know, sweating, get everything out.
Okay, so but not to give up my swimming. Like, I mean,
Oh, no, I
that's
think
it.
swimming is wonderful. Swimming is one of the best exercises. And for your glaucoma, you need to do some exercise. That'll help lower the pressure, improve the circulation. So I think the exercise far outweighs the negative effect of the small amount of chlorine.
Okay. Okay, I you know, I've always swam. I just didn't realize the toxicity of the
Well,
chlorine
you and
either.
Lydia got to get together and form a group to ban chlorine from all the pools and get ozone.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Get a Facebook support page.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I could take on a whole city. They have their way of doing things.
Well, squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah.
Lourdes, you had a question?
Yeah, is it okay to combine to use the glove on my eyes, and then the other substitute the other electrode, the other glove for pads?
Oh, now you're getting fancy.
Well, you know why?
I guess that'll be all right. No, that'll be all right. Lourdes
Because
is
of the
talking about
wetness,
putting
it's-
one glove on the eye and pads in
Right.
the back. That would be
Right.
fine.
Okay, because the wind is cold in here. It's winter time, and that wet glove is uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, don't do it outside in the winter. Get indoors.
No, indoors it's uncomfortable too. It gets cold really fast.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do. They get a nice warm glove. They use hot water.
I do that, but it gets cold.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
try that. That'll be fine.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, well, we have one. I'll take one more question because Joe,
How about me? Michael?
where's Michael?
Right here.
I didn't see you, Michael. I didn't, yeah. You have a question? And we'll do Joe.
Well, I got a situation right now. It's a good thing. I'm unemployed, but for some reason I've got insomnia. So that means I'm sleeping during the day. Anything you can recommend?
Yeah, that's not good because you need that good circadian rhythm.
Yeah, I know. It's totally off. I don't know. Well, I do know why it's happened because I had a lot of stress from the
Mhm.
job I used to have. So I'm still down stressing. I don't know how else to say it. But
I think, we do have an insomnia program that you might want to try that to help you sleep. And also the right homeopathic remedy.
so I'm taking the one you just sent.
How long have you been taking it?
Well, I just got it, so a couple of days.
Okay, well, hopefully that'll shift. If you
Okay.
don't get an improvement in a couple of weeks, I want to hear from you and we'll have to change the remedy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay, Joe, you had a question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you fine.
You can hear me, okay. I just wanted to ask Dr. Tennant, do you know Dr. Tennant? Have you heard of
Oh,
him?
yeah, I know him very well. He's a fellow ophthalmologist. He's a brilliant researcher, and yeah, I know him very well.
Because he was saying that the macular degeneration can come from teeth problems.
Yeah.
I noticed that there are, when I went to the dentist the last time, I asked if, if I had any infections below my teeth, in where I'd had
Root canal.
root canals, exactly, yes, thank you. Apparently I did have a couple of infections below the root canals, and I was just kind of sort of not really knowing what to do about it, and I was thinking of having my teeth taken out and things, but there was still no guarantee that that would get rid of the infection. And that's when I found you, and I'm just kind of wondering if the microcurrent would help with clearing any infections like that, or
Oh, definitely. The microcurrent along with the homeopathic remedy, the light therapy, all these treatments will help. But unfortunately, when you start getting involved with dental reconstructive work, it can be very, very expensive. And so my recommendation is, give the microcurrent, the program, some time, and then we may have to address the teeth issue. But
right.
I agree with you that a lot of times, there's an underlying dental problem. In fact, there's a joke that if you have an eye problem, you should first see your dentist, then see the eye doctor. I don't know if I believe in that, but a lot of times you get these root canals and chronic infections and cavitations that affect the certain meridian in your body.
Yeah.
Problems.
Yes, because it was interesting actually, because he said that the particular acupuncture line that goes through the teeth or whatever up to the eye also goes by the knee, and I noticed that my knee was having problems. And anyway, I was kind of sort of treating the knee, and it seemed to help. Kind of the.
I would use the microcurrent to treat directly over the tooth problem.
Right, right.
We have some dental protocols that some people really like to use that, along with a strong detox program. The chelation, because usually dental issues are associated with mercury and lead and other toxins.
Right. I'm using a chlorine dioxide mouthwash just to kind of sort of help that a bit. With regard to the sleep problem of Michael, I've been using melatonin.
Melatonin, yeah, melatonin is a good way to start.
Dr. Pierpoli? Do you know Dr. Pierpoli?
No.
He has some tablets which he said that basically that they should help cataracts or something. And so I got some of these tablets, and I just find them just like they work like a miracle. If I can't sleep, I just take one of these little tablets. And
there are melatonin tablets?
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. I can go and get the packet and show you. Like,
Michael, have you been using the melatonin?
I started last night. And I'll get to thank you for asking. I get to a point where I'm really, really sleepy at 3:30 in the morning, and I doze off, sleep right back up again, wake back up again.
Yeah, that's the problem. Melatonin will put you to sleep, but if you have a sleep problem, you'll probably wake up a couple hours later.
Yeah.
It can help you fall asleep, but it doesn't keep you.
Well, the nice thing that I've found is, like, for instance, if I'm having kind of worries that are kind of going over and over in my mind, and I can't seem to get rid of it, even if I have taken one already earlier, if I take another one to try and get rid of the noise in my head, it puts me straight back to sleep, and I don't actually wake up groggy or anything like that. It's just on that particular night it works like magic.
What's the name of it?
I'll go and get it.
Okay, while you're getting it, let me Roxanne, let me.
Yeah, I just had a quick comment about what Joe just said. Recently, I had a biological dentist take a three-dimensional X-ray called a cone beam of my jaw, because I have many problems on the right side of my face for several years now, including that's where my macular pucker is in my right eye. And they found an infection. They call them silent infections. They don't hurt or anything under tooth number 3, which is right under my eye with the problem. So this biological dentist is now giving me ozone shots right into this area to get rid of it. I have my final one next week. So I'm going to see if a lot of the problems I have on the right side of my face, including, a perpetually swollen right tonsil, uveitis in my right eye, and ear problems go away. But I do believe
they can really be tough to treat.
Yeah, they're tough to find. The only reason he did this cone beam on me was because I requested it, because I wasn't having pain in my jaw or anything, and then they found it. So, well, hopefully it will lead to some major healing in that area.
Yeah, well, keep us posted on that. What is the ingredients? It's MZS. Is that a long-acting melatonin? You have to unmute yourself, because I like the long-acting, slow release melatonin. I think it's
back to front, isn't it? Unfortunately, or can you see that?
I can see it. Yeah.
I can send you a link, Dr.
Yeah.
Kondrot,
You know what? Send me a picture of it. Take a picture of it, and then when I send the recording to the group, I'll put a picture of that in.
Okay, because they're just amazing.
Good. Well, maybe that'll be Michael's solution.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
Okay, Carol, one last question.
I just wanted to comment. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to comment that I've had a lot of insomnia problems. I've been taking melatonin and trying various things, and I used the microcurrent program for about a month, and it has been like a miracle.
The
helping me.
insomnia program?
Yes, on the microcurrent.
Mhm,
Uh-oh.
good.
And it was really helpful to me. It wasn't like overnight, but probably about a month, maybe 6 weeks. I used it every day.
Yeah, sometimes I use that for jet lag, you know, when you have jet lag and you're in a different time zone, that helps me a lot, the insomnia.
So that was a big help for me. So I just wanted to tell you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that feedback. All right. Well, it was a pleasure, everybody. Oh, yeah. One last comment, Joe?
Sorry, one last thing I just wanted to say was I noticed that my eyes were getting worse, and I realized it was because I had my laptop just beside my bed and I think that it was radiating negative frequencies, if you like, during the night. And I noticed if I didn't have it anywhere near me and my phone far away, my eyes seemed to.
Yeah, well, that's a good point,
bit
because
better.
the dirty electricity, so to speak, and that can be a whole topic to discuss. I interviewed a guy who did a lot of research with dirty electricity, and if you could see the garbage that's surrounding us, you know, the Wi-Fi, the cell phones, the microwave, and it's wreaking havoc. Also smart meters. I had a patient who had the macular pucker, and we correlated it to development when she had a smart meter installed, and the smart meter was right outside her bedroom. And they're sending horrible electromagnetic frequencies, the waves, dirty electricity. So that's another area. The bottom line is it's tough to stay healthy. We're being bombarded by everything. So it's a full-time job to try to stay healthy and keep your vision healthy. Anyway, thanks everybody for
Yeah,
joining.
thank
the
you.
meeting. We'll be
Thank
meeting
you.
again. We'll be meeting again.
Thank you.
The third
Thank you.
Saturday, okay? And I'll send you a recording, because we had a lot of good questions and a lot of good information from all of you out there. So thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Goodbye.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.